Morning, Team Titleist. It's Alexa Pano. We're here in Rogers, Arkansas, and join me for a day in my life. So today's a little bit of a shorter day for me. It'll be a quick morning warm-up, and then I'll go out and play 9. Afterwards, it's just a little bit more practice and kind of figuring out the greens and the grass out here and stuff.
Good morning, welcome to Starbucks. Before we get started for you.
Good morning. Could I get a grande iced chai tea latte with oat milk and pumpkin cream cold foam? It's really good. I'm obsessed with the pumpkin drinks.
Let's talk about your win a little bit here.
I hadn't been in the position to win an event on the LPGA Tour like that before, and I think I expected to be a bit more nervous. I felt super calm and ready for it. That was a really nice feeling because I got to enjoy that final round a lot.
Were you nervous?
No, there was no nerves at all. Even after round 1, she was 3 over and in danger of missing the cut. And I wrote a note to her instructor that said, "This one's not over," because I knew she was playing well.
Nice.
That's okay. Well,
Showing off your impressive parking. Oh yeah, in Ireland, he drove on the left side of the road. I was so scared. Okay, now we go range. Pre-tournament is all Taylor Swift. My poor dad has to listen to it in the car so much. I went to the Eras Tour night 1 in Foxborough, and it was the best night of my life. If I didn't have to leave the next morning for my US Open qualifier, I would have gone every night. Tournament days, I always hit my even clubs. Practice days are usually always odd, and then I always kind of start with wedges and then work up to driver. I don't know, there's a lot of little superstitions throughout my pre-tournament warm-up. I don't know, just little stuff, but I've kind of got a pretty set routine. Putting, swinging, chipping, and then putting, and then it's go every time.
All right, she'll start at 4 feet with the brackets, and she'll go right arm, left arm, then normal putting stroke. Then she'll go into her putting practice, but that usually takes up first 15, 20 minutes of her practice. When things weren't right in her putting stroke, it was because of her setup. So this just emphasizes the changes that she made and when she went from not putting well to back to putting very well. The 2 things she works on, number 1, we'll work today on practice rounds, reading the greens and the breaks and everything, but she mainly works tempo. Even playing, her thoughts are very simple. It's just a basic push and pull. But the most important thing in her game is being able to hit the high irons and the wedges low, and she can put a 5-iron up in the air like a 9-iron if she wants to. We want to know what's going to happen when she hits the ball low. We want to know if it's going to spin or if it's going to run out. Yes, green conditions dictate that. But if you know that, then you have a little bit of a clue how to play. She's been with Titleist since age 10. She hasn't changed balls since then. She knows when her chips are going to spin if she makes the correct move. She knows if she makes a bad move, what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm biased. I mean, it's all she's really known.
Rumored for a while, but Taylor Swift's not one to go public with her relationships. She's a very low-key kind of gal, and she hard launched him at the Chiefs game, and it comes up on my Instagram, on my reels. And so I just started hitting him oh my God, you won't believe this.
But he was driving.
I was driving, yeah.
He's a good driver, it was fine.
She's
no one
punching me
died.
while I'm driving. I don't believe it, I don't believe it. She has one thought swinging on the golf course. One thought putting, one thought chipping.
You 58, land 74?
Yeah, especially where these fairways are wet. Keep it shallow. You don't have time when you're competing in pro golf to have 10 different thoughts in your head. Should be good.
My irons are almost always a draw. I feel like my driver is my straightest club, but it's usually a high draw, if anything.
Good.
The consistency that I'm able to find with this driver, just hitting straight balls, is unreal. Ever since I got this right before Hawaii this year, I put it into play a few weeks later. And ever since then, I've picked up a decent bit of yardage, but also accuracy, which is a big thing, and kind of a fear when you gain yardage that you're gonna lose accuracy, but it's been perfect. When I was younger, I'd play with all the older girls, and I was never as long as them, so that really forced me to work on my driver off the deck and my short game skills, so it's kind of a neat little shot to have.
When she swings, I don't even look at the swing. I look at the ball and the club. Close that stance there and get over. I'll say 99 times out of 100, we're on the same page. Should be good, real good. It's because we've been doing this 14 years.
So are you not 21 yet?
Not 21, I just turned 19.
I officially feel old.
I have a large shopping habit. I don't even spend very much, but like once I get off the course, like maybe even today, I just like to go and walk around Targets and stuff. I mean, I like to read. I'm really into music at the moment. All the concerts I want to go to conflict with tournaments, so it just ends up being random stuff.
What do you do in the off-season?
A lot of rest. Try and reserve my super early wake-ups for tournament days. Obviously there's a lot of stuff that I have to work on, but it's nice to kind of relax for a few weeks at least.
That's better. That's what you want right there.
Yay. It's 11:29. So I think now I'm going to go to the tour truck to ask Shane for some new wedges, and then probably a little bit of practice chipping and putting.
Always grinding.
Anytime that I'm able to get something made by someone at Titleist, I feel so lucky. So whether it's a Circle T or getting my wedges stamped, I think it's still so cool to me. I know I'm like a winner now and established on tour, but it's still like new and cool to me.
We were talking about your gapping again. There's a lot of players that play half-degree increments, but it gives you that option to be able to play different shots, and it is able to define the leading edge, the trailing edge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
It's made more of a difference than you'd think that 0.5 stamped on there would
It
do.
is. It makes a huge difference. We find that right distance and the gapping for your yardages, and so we find the right loft and the right bounce and the right grind that'll fit your game. Alexa, I mean, you have one of the greatest setups in terms of, you know, all the way through the spectrum here. You're playing the 4610F, which is a very popular pitching wedge grind. And as you can tell, all of our wedges are blue bagged, especially for the raw ones, because we want them to be fresh for you.
Yeah.
Each wedge tells its own story.
Yeah.
You know, where it's been, how it's performed,
Exactly.
and then also it talks about, you know, you as a person. This is why we do what we do. What we call braid the shaft enough. I don't do that.
Getting put to work.
Being put to work, yeah. So, okay, we'll bend it. That was pretty close. I just got to weaken it just a little bit.
You did like a great job on these, so just do something cool. I don't know.
We'll figure something cool out for you.
Okay, thank you.
Here are your wedges.
They're so pretty. They're perfect. Thanks so much.
Got it.
Time update. I didn't get to do much before the round, so just kind of working on some distance control and yeah, just making sure my technique is good.
There it is.
That's one of my favorite parts about my Titleist wedges and irons is that I'm able to flight the ball down with them and kind of trust what they're going to do. The greens are quite receptive, but we've played a lot of courses this year that require a bit more spin if you're going to try and land on the green. So it's nice that I'm able to have kind of an arsenal of shots and trust what my clubs are going to do, because we're just playing in such different conditions every week that it varies so much from the last event that we played in Dana with super firm and fast greens to now coming to this, which is a much more softer, wetter course that you can be more aggressive. So it's great to have that different shots that I can play. And making a mess, we have to leave. Pro V1 for me has been super reliable and trustworthy, which is something you need when you're changing courses every single week and the elements are completely different. So being able to trust that consistency and having the reliability of the clubs and the ball is massive for me. I'm gonna go get some lunch now. Thank you guys for following along. A full size.
Olay.
Oh, I guessed it correctly.
All right.
Wow.
Do you know what this would do to your luggage? Cascade for your dishwasher.
This is great content.
Never use those fiber gummies.
I think they're all right, Dad.